미디어 산업에도 블록체인의 개념이 도입되고 있는 중이라고 하는데요. 이번에는 블록체인 교육자이자 비트코인 전문가, 박스마이닝 채널의 크리에이터 마이클 구님께서 블록체인 산업의 미디어를 주제로 발표하겠습니다. 무대 위로 모시겠습니다.
Alright guys, thank you so much for inviting me here. I'd like to thank Lau and Jabral Network, and thank you guys so much for attending this event as well. This is an amazing time for blockchain, and we're at the blockchain revolution. So I'd like to give a shout out as well to everyone watching on YouTube. We have almost 600 to 800 people watching live right now. This is a very interesting time for everyone in this space. So what am I going to talk about today? I'm going to talk about objectively analyzing blockchain products, and I'm going to talk about my media angle, which is the alternative media. So I'm not CNN. I'm not the big media, but I'm representing a new type of media. And I have a YouTube channel, I have Twitter, and I talk to projects at a person-to-person level. So let's take a look at the first slide. So a little bit about me. All right, so I have a relatively large channel on YouTube. I have 150,000 subscribers right now, and my videos have been watched almost 8 million times. So thank you guys right now on YouTube, especially guys if you're watching right now. You've been absolutely amazing to me in this space. Well, my background is in mining, so I started off mining in 2012. So that was quite early in this space. We got GPU miners, and that's my experience. And that's kind of what Boxmining, the name mining, comes from. Obviously, right now, I just don't talk about mining. I talk about cryptocurrency projects and how to look at these projects. What else do I have a background in? I have a background in the gaming industry. So I used to work as a game designer. I designed video games. And I also have done project management as well. And that kind of helps because, of course, learning about technology as a game designer and as a project manager, I have to understand technology. I have to understand what the technology is and then communicate that with the artists. Because the artists sometimes don't understand all that code, all that GitHub stuff. They need someone to explain that to them, and that's how this channel came about. So let's take a look at some problems facing the blockchain projects that we have right now. Obviously, you guys hear about so many different projects. We just had Eric Gu talk about Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin brought forth all the other coins out there. And of course, there's a lot of problems facing communication with the problems between these projects and, of course, the rest of the community. So first of all, we have the problem of explaining the technology. You know, how many people do you really understand what blockchain technology is? Do you understand the UTXO model of Bitcoin? Do you understand how that's different from what Ethereum is doing? These are highly technical questions, and they need someone to explain that. What's a hash function? What's a private key? These are really important topics here, and we want to talk about that. So that's something I talk about in my channel. But of course, this is something that you guys should all look into. Read books and learn about it. We also have project transparency. So this year, we have so many different blockchain projects coming to fruition, opening up, and of course, they need to communicate that. In fact, of course, I talk to a lot of my viewers, and we always want to ask more. What can we learn more about this project? There needs to be more transparency in this space. We want to see what their leaders are doing, what their leaders are thinking. We also want to look at team, because this is something I've learned managing teams in the gaming industry. As a team, it's all about how you work together. If the team doesn't work, the project's not going to work. That's simple as that. You can give all these promises in the white paper, but if your team cannot deliver, there's going to be a problem. And finally, of course, we've got industry-specific questions as well. Well, with blockchain, it's not just about one Bitcoin or about Ethereum. It's about a platform that supports a lot of other industries as well. And of course, we need industry experts here. So these are the questions that you guys should be asking yourself. All right, how do I analyze a project? How do I ask these questions? And how do I get these answers? So my role in the blockchain media, so I make YouTube videos, and then I, of course, try to solve some of these problems that I identified. So of course, with the first one is with project summary videos. So I talk about projects, and I summarize them in a very short 5 to 8 minute section. And that gives people an idea. And that's not the end of your research, I want to say. This is the start. The start of looking into a project, researching it, and of course, looking at the key factors. I also do visits to different projects So of course, Binance, they're presenting next. I visited their offices. I've also seen Metaverse to their conferences, and also Walton Chain as well. I've got more as well. We also want project updates. So I help a lot of projects give updates about what they're doing. I think this is very, very important because, of course, when they're releasing and launching something, we want to look at what they're releasing, and does that really fit what we want? I think this is all these key things that I want to do in this space. And lastly, of course, I consult with experts to analyze projects as well. So this is kind of my role. It's very different from the traditional media. So traditional media, we got CNBC covering blockchain, we got interviews with different people, but I wanted to bring my personal angle to this. As someone that's in this industry, but also I'm independent of the traditional media framework. I run my own channel, I run everything, and that's what I'm trying to bring to this space. So let's take an example of something that I've done in this space. So I basically look at projects, and one of the projects that I felt was very related to my background, which is gaming, project management, is Engine Coin. So how do they use blockchain technology? This is one of the first questions I ask in this space. It's very important because, of course, we've been talking about blockchain a lot, and a lot of projects, they just attach the name blockchain onto something. But does that mean blockchain is the right technology for that company, for that project? What abilities, what features of the blockchain are they using? So with Engine Coin, they're trying to solve the item duplication for gaming items. You know, as a big gamer myself, I own a lot of digital items. And of course, back in the day, we had problems where people duplicated items. And by putting items, digital gaming items on the blockchain, we can prevent that duplication. See, this is something that's very important. If you guys know Bitcoin, you can't duplicate a Bitcoin. So that's one of the things it's trying to solve. But we also have smart contracts. So smart contracts allows us to do trustless trade. This is something a lot of people still don't understand, especially being trustless. What does that even mean, right? It might be people, a lot of times they said, yeah, we're moving the central party, like say I'm Amazon. We can buy from Amazon, and we trust Amazon. We can trust that Amazon will deliver us the item because, well, we trust the central authority. Amazon has a great name. But with smart contracts, what we're trusting is we're trusting the code. We can put a contract up there, and we can initiate a trade with anyone. And that code will guarantee that this transaction will take place. Or if I exchange one digital item with another gaming digital item, that transaction can take place, and I have complete confidence that this contract, this line of code, not a person, not an institution, that is very different. An institution like Amazon, they can still change the conditions of the contract. But with a smart contract, it's basically a line of code. There's no person, there's no one with bias, prejudice. It's going to happen in a trustless fashion. So this is something I'm looking for. I'm looking for projects, of course, that use smart contracts correctly, that they're using the technology correctly as well. Lastly, of course, they have additional features. They have ideas for on-chain subscription models. So basically, you can subscribe to a service, and then, of course, they can process that transaction on-chain and keep that, maintain that. So they're all allowing people to use this blockchain and to, of course, use it in the proper way. It's not a centralized database. It's going to allow players to own items in their own wallets and, of course, trade that as well. So this is how I kind of look at projects. I kind of make sure that they're using blockchain. And of course, we want to go one step deeper with projects too. So here, of course, I'm in the game industry, so I kind of have a lot of experience in looking at, of course, projects here. And of course, I had an interview with their CTO. And it was a really, really insightful interview, because we talked about how they're going to move forward a project. For example, integrating with Minecraft. And as a big Minecraft player, I kind of knew the systems there and what they're trying to do. They're trying to allow basically gamers to develop different mods, different environments, and integrate that with Engine, and of course use that to create items on the blockchain. It allows Minecraft players to own the items that they found and created. We also talked about developer support. This is where I have quite a bit of experience as well. I'm used to develop with Unity, And Unity SDKs are something that we discussed as well. So you want to kind of ask them how they're going to integrate into the existing gaming ecosystem, how this blockchain technology can change that, and the way it's going to do so. And I really want to strongly emphasize this as well, is that for now, a lot of developers still don't know much about what's happening with blockchain, with cryptocurrencies, and with all this technology, smart contracts, etc. And it's important for developers to know more about it. And how they're going to push that is important as well. How they're going to integrate that into Unity 5 engine, how they're going to get developers to develop for that. And lastly, I do follow up some projects as well. So this is one thing that I think is quite important, sometimes gets forgotten in this whole space, which is the fact that we see new projects every day, and we're like, oh, let's research everything new. Let's find something cool. That's what's out there. But of course, we want to follow up on existing projects as well. We want to see if their roadmap is sensible. And I think this is really important, following up and checking, all right, their Q1, what are they doing in Q1? Are they delivering on the aspects? How long it's going to take? And is the team performing correctly? This all goes back to teamwork. Projects are not about a single person. They're not about one single spokesperson. They're about teams. So of course, this is not the single project I worked with before. I worked with a lot of different people, and I've talked to a lot of them. So I want to thank, of course, everyone here for contributing to the channel and getting these people on my channel. So we got Guy Zinskin as well. So Guy Zinskin, he's from MIT Media Labs, the prestigious university in the States. And Guy came up with a really interesting way of doing smart contracts and secure, of course, privacy-preserving cloud computing. That's something really strange. And it took a while for us to explain that to the community. How do you put data on the blockchain and protect it? It's like I can put my DNA information on the blockchain using Enigma, and people can't see what it is, but they can run calculations and see if there's markers for particular diseases on there. So that's kind of a cool project that's been on the blockchain. Of course, I've done interviews and updates with Guy Zinskin. We also have Brendan Eich, the creator of JavaScript. So he came on my channel as well, and we discussed with the Brave browser what he's creating, his new project, his new browser, and his new, of course, the basic attention token. This guy is huge, right? He created JavaScript, but without him, we'll have pretty much no dynamic pages whatsoever. So of course, I wanted to follow up. I want to see his vision. I want to see what he wants to create in this space. So these are kind of the projects I've seen so far. So this is my channel, basically a screenshot from my channel. This is the people I've interviewed. So I'll just say, you probably see a handsome guy over there. That's Eric. Eric Wu, he gave a presentation just earlier. We also have Zhao Sengpeng, who's over there, Da Hongfei from Neo. These guys have all come and talked about their projects. And this is what I want to do in this space. I want to share with you what these leaders are thinking, what they want to do, what they want to achieve in this space. And I hope I can serve the community like this. So guys, thank you so much for inviting me to Seoul. Thank you guys so much online for watching as well. And I hope you guys can learn more about blockchain and everything.